So this is only the second time ever I've used this setting. It's dual capture video and it just turned off. So I don't know if that's because there's not enough memory on the phone. Presumably this really burns a lot of memory. Um, yeah, so this is my third hotel of the evening, having travelled a really long way as well. So it's been a crazy day. And what I want to really say is, as a sort of update to my channel, because my channel is just, as I've stated before, basically a cloud for me. It's just a way of storing my videos and having my own video diaries. So in the future, I can look back without having to like pay for crazy storage space because I have probably like 3, 4 terabytes. No, more than that, maybe yeah, more than 4 terabytes of just video alone. So um, many of my videos are actually unlisted, so you can't even see them on the channel. I literally just use it as storage. But I like to keep people updated that have been with the channel for a while, and just again, kind of set a discipline of reminding myself what I was thinking at a certain point. And obviously, I throw politics into the equation because, yeah, it's integral to anything in life. Politics are just the behavior of man or of human. So yeah, if you understand politics or you're interested in it, then you're naturally gravitating towards a more inclined reasoning with respect to people. Um, yeah, today woke up feeling really bad, actually, really sick, which rarely happens. I ate a lot of food yesterday, having not eaten much beforehand, and yeah, maybe I just overdid it, or there was something wrong with the food. So woke up feeling terrible, and then checked out after 8 days where I was staying, and then I had to take a taxi to the train station because China has this habit of building their stations way outside of the city to encourage sort of an expansion in the future without having to jeopardize, the main sort of lifeline transport hub of the city. If your train station is like deep within an urban area, it makes it difficult to sort of expand around the tracks and stuff. So they've built it like 15 k's out, so you have to take a taxi, and with the new speed limits and stuff, it took like 35 minutes on pretty sparse roads to get to the station, and then I had to get harassed again by Uyghur police, not Chinese Han police. I think I've said I love Chinese Han. I love people for the most part, but I have respect for cultures that I've sort of immersed myself in substantially. And I've been to China now like 9 times, and my first time in China was 2012, and I've never ever had a problem with Han Chinese, never once. But as I've said in previous videos, here in Xinjiang, where I've spent most of my time in China because of its proximity to Kazakhstan and Kyrgyzstan, just have constant problems with them. And again, it's the same today. Like when you see a Uyghur or even Kazakh um, person in a position of authority in China, they're just there because they're serving a political motive. They're there to give the belief to the Uyghur and Kazakh population that they are sort of have a little bit of control. So they put them in like train stations, and even have a lot of police, if not most of them, are Uyghur. And I'm not going to go over that because I had my phone stolen a few days ago, and I had to deal with these police, and it was just a nightmare. Really. Sorry, there's an elevator here. It just went off. Oh God, I think someone's going to knock on my door. Please don't. Please don't. I just literally got into bed. Anyway, so yeah, sorry. This is the room. So I'm gonna go. There's so many things I can say because of traveling. It's fascinating, and all kinds of events seem to just happen to me. So I'll go back. So yeah, I had to get to the strange station. They made me take all the stuff out of my bag, and as you can see, like for me, I'm traveling with one bag, and everything has to be compacted really well before setting off. And everything's really organized, and to just grab stuff and have to like take it out requires a lot of time for it to be put back in. And then you've got other people going through the x-ray machines and taking their stuff out and all this kind of stuff. It's just really horrible and stressful. And I've made sure that like anything that deserves to be questioned when looking at an X-ray monitor, I've already got on my person. I've already taken it out of the bag. And with Chinese Han, where these situations have kind of sprung up, I've told them, and they've told me, yeah, you're absolutely right. There's nothing in the bag. We sort of believe you or whatever. Like I told them, look, if I have to keep taking stuff out every time I enter a train station in China, which I'm doing constantly because it's the main form of travel, it's just going to get ridiculous, and I don't really want to be visiting anymore. And I've had really very just mature conversations with Chinese Han police officers about this, and yeah, they've just been like, yeah, no worries about it. All you need to show really is a bottle because they actually smell to see if your water bottles are filled with alcohol before you set onto Chinese transportation, and power banks, right? But these Chinese Uyghur police, they're just like kids, man. It's like Central Asia or places in Africa or South America. It's just like really dumb idiots that have a uniform that get into positions because it serves some political purpose, or their uncle works in the municipality and they get these jobs because of family connections, and like family is so integral to these sorts of communities and ethnic groups that, and they have such massive families that basically if you know someone that is high up in the police force, like everyone that ends up getting a job, and no matter how sort of nominal that position might be, they're going to be related. That's why they get the job. They're not doing it because they've gone through an interview process and they've been picked because of their competency. They're literally there because they know someone, and as a result, they can't do their jobs, and they're fucking idiots. So I have to deal with this stress like constantly in China, only with Uyghur people. So I had that, and then I get in to the station for like 45 minutes, then it's my train, and um, I have the only kids on the wagon, toddlers right next to me, screaming for 2 hours, and I'm already feeling ill. Then I get to my new city, which is a connecting point, a transit for where I am now and had to transit to. And again, that station's on the outside of the city, so I have to take a really long taxi, get to the passenger terminal, wait for the shared taxis to fill up, take that shared taxi to what is essentially a ski resort, but I'm off season, I'm here in the summer, so it's like a ghost town. And I booked my hotel 3 months ago, and I arrive, and they say they can't accept foreigners, right? Which is just after all this, it's like the last thing you need. It's already getting late in the evening. I'm tired, haven't eaten all day. I'm dehydrated. I'm feeling really bad. On top of that, the shared taxi um, passed where I was going and ended up a 45-minute walk away, and I couldn't take a taxi back to this place that rejected me because the taxi apps don't work in this tiny town. In fact, I haven't seen a single taxi. So I had to walk for 45 minutes after this, already stressful day to this hotel only to be rejected. And then I had to book another hotel on trip.com. I prepaid for everything, by the way, so it's quite bad. And they had 3 months to like look at my name and see clearly I'm not Chinese, so they could have cancelled the reservation. But what I've learned is hotels never like cancelling because they get punished. They always try and either lie and the trip.com and say like, oh, he wants to cancel and we're giving him the ability to cancel for free because we're generous. Because they get penalised basically if they just cancel reservations left, right, and centre. The reason being because, you know, a lot of hotels try and undercut the agency by telling guests when they arrive, if you cancel, we'll give you a cheaper rate to avoid paying the commission. Anyway, so I had to book another hotel at the first hotel, and they drove me to that hotel, thankfully. And they also didn't accept foreigners. So paid for two hotels, didn't accept foreigners. They then had to drive me to a third hotel, which was more expensive, which is this hotel here. And by the way, it's a fucking huge suite. And I'm not talking about this room. I have literally what two people have told me is basically a townhouse. Out there behind the wall, I have a kitchen that is insane, a huge living dining area, and my own elevator because all the hotels around here are empty. Even the ones that rejected me are like when I walked into the first one and the second one, they're basically not even functioning. The owner of this hotel is apparently China's ski champion because we're in a ski resort, which I didn't even realize. I came here for the hiking, summer hiking, which clearly no one else does. And when I arrived here, it's so cool downstairs, like really my kind of place. The design just fucking awesome. I booked just a standard room for £15, which looked really nice, which for Chinese standards isn't actually like typically cheap. You pay like a tenner, so it's sort of like 50% more, but it's nice. And they upgraded me to just a suite because no one else really here. So outside of this room is just a space like three times the size of all of this. With and I'll post a video tomorrow. Um, yeah, so the lady was really nice. Oh, by the way, all of the people have been really nice so far, including the people that rejected me in the first place. They're really, really nice. Chinese Han people are so nice. Um, when I arrived, it was like 9:30 to this place, and I was like, I haven't had any food all day. I went out to go to a cafe that we passed when we came here, and I was hoping it was open, but she said no, it's closed. So she made me a coffee, like a proper coffee as well, like a real deal. Because it's also a cafe, this hotel, although it's like not functioning as I said. And the price of this coffee on the menu was 38, which is £4.20, $6 for a small Americano. That's the kind of place I'm in. And she's like, no, you can have it for free. So she gave it to me for free. I've been upgraded to a suite. I've only paid £15. Trip.com have now refunded for both of the other hotel bookings, and they've given me compensation for the issue of like the equivalent of what I paid for the second hotel, just slightly less than this, but still. Um, and yeah, crazy. And what I was kind of going to go at with this video is that's the events of today, and it gets really, the older you get, and I'm in my mid 30s now, you just don't have the energy of a young guy. And I'm pretty fit, and I eat well, which is why. And I probably have way more energy than most people. I am non-stop doing things all day, even though I don't work. It is work doing this, and I enjoy it. I really love it. I love the planning more than anything. Actually, that's the thing I enjoy the most. I'm addicted to finding the best deals, the hotels, looking at the hotel locations, the proximity to everything I want to go to, what's included, the general vibe, the aura, the reviews, the price, you know, the hotels, the trains. I love that. I love airports. I love all of that. And I'm non-stop doing that. I'm constantly doing things. If I'm not planning my trip, which I spend hours doing it each and every day. I'm reading books. I have a backlog of like probably now like 25 books. Um, I love reading. It's just constant, constant. When I'm not sleeping, I'm doing something. I'm doing my laundry, usually by hand. I'm just random shit you would even believe, as I've shown you in previous videos. I'm sewing flags to make a pillow cushion, just random stuff. But yeah, it's becoming quite, the older you get, you accumulate more things, you meet more people, more messages, more WhatsApp chats, more phone calls, just more things you are interested in the older you get because you've accumulated all that extra knowledge and all that knowledge, sorry, through 35 years of living. And there's just not enough time. Is my point, to be dotting around from place to place, and I'm conscious of this. I'm very commonsensical with it. I do um, try and space out how I travel, like whereby I go to some places to spend a couple of days, and then I have like a block of like 2 weeks in a place. As I'm getting older, this is what I'm doing. And I just was in China the month before last for 30 days in one hotel, and it was perfect. And I've had times in the past where I've spent, several months in a village just chilling, just doing like hiking, reading, having my routine of coffee shops and restaurants to go to. But now, like as I was saying, the older I get, it's just too tiring to maintain all of that knowledge I've gained through the years, which has given me all these different interests plus the planning. And it's just, and I'm good at what I do now, as anyone would be. If you do it for so long, anything, you just become really competent at it. So because of that, there's so many things I'm able to buy, purchase, and book that are just crazy deals that most people can't even comprehend. I literally just booked a flight from Vanuatu to Fiji for £65. you can't find that price anywhere on the internet, and I challenge you to find a price lower than £65 for Vanuatu's, which you will not. Those are the kinds of deals I'm able to get using different promotional codes, booking through certain banks that will then give me cash back on that transaction alongside all these other things. It's just like, you just become very knowledgeable after years of doing stuff. And because you become good at it, you want to do it more. People like doing things they're good at. That's just a reality. But I told myself constantly, I need to stop. I need to stop. And I literally just booked a flight to the Solomon Islands and Vanuatu. And I've not been to either places, so it's enticing. And I've actually not been to any of the Pacific Islands, and that's the thing. The world is so big, and even with the rapidity that I'm able to do things, I'm very quick and competent with booking these things. But there's just still not enough time to do everything you're into. So yeah, I've decided basically, and I've been thinking about this for quite a while since I transitioned from um, basically sort of atypical bus, plane, train, walking, hitchhiking. Although I don't do so much of the latter anymore, to the cycling trip, which I loved a few years ago. I'm looking for ways to like maintain the buzz of traveling, and that means I have to do different things, right? Things that I'm not comfortable ordinarily with doing, and that's the way to kind of up the stakes, if you like. But I do need to kind of settle down a little bit. So there's a couple of places I like, and I think I'm going to go to one of those two places after this specific trip, and I'll probably change my mind. And I want to open up a hostel. I've been wanting to open up a hostel for years, and I can do it very easily. I know exactly how to do it. It's not very difficult to bankroll. It's actually not as expensive as people think. So I can do that myself. And yeah, just this one won't be the final hostel. I'm not even 50% through my life yet, assuming I make 85, which is I'm pretty confident I can live to 85 at least. I'm not even halfway yet, which is crazy. The amount I've squashed in my up since when I was born to my mid 30s is crazy. Like I was thinking about it, like I've been constantly moving and doing things. I've been at several universities. I've been in the army. I've traveled to 125 countries already, constant, and most of those, back and forth. I've been to the craziest parties. I've been kidnapped. I've been robbed and attacked in so many places. I've read hundreds, if not thousands, of books. I've IMDb top 250 and completed in like 2019. Like thousands of movies, playlists, websites, all kinds of weird business endeavors, hustles, or just so many things. I feel like I'm 60. My body isn't physically of a 60-year-old, but I feel mentally like I've lived 60 or 70 years. And I have compared to most people. Most people can squash this stuff in 100 years, 200 years. I've squashed it into 35 years. But you feel it. You feel it. So I want to do a hostel, which is a good way to sort of settle down, maintain the traveling vibe because I'll be meeting travelers all the time. A little bit of extra income, but that's not really the real reason. It's fun. I want to do it, and it's the test run for when I open up a proper hostel when I'm older, probably in my 60s, 25 years from now, and that will be the real deal. But I do want to do an experiment with one, like a small one, rent out an apartment, kit it out, dorms, do all the marketing online, which is really easy. That's how most businesses fail. I don't understand how the system works with respect to booking agencies. That's really the deal breaker, and I understand all of this perfectly. I mean, I've stayed in thousands of hotels. It's probably stay in a different hotel or hostel or guest house or whatever, every 3 days on average for the last 15 years, which is mental to think about the amount of places I've stayed at. And a lot of them, the ones that I respect and I've found things interesting within that environment, God, I didn't realize this was covered up the entire time. Um, I've screened, I've taken pictures of their quirks and characteristics and saved them onto drive files for future endeavors on my part within that industry. So anyway, yeah, that's my point. It's 20 minutes. I'll wrap this up. Yeah, crazy day. It's made me think, and yeah, next stage is my own hostel. I think I'm gonna do that. I wanted to do it last year with some friends actually, but the thing is, people just bail. Most people bail out. People don't commit. People, unfortunately, are pussies for the most part. That's what I've learned, very sadly. Most people in the world, excuse my French, they are just cowards. Most people never commit. I commit all the time. You want to go to Afghanistan tomorrow and walk across on foot to Iran? I'm going to do it. You give me a call, I'm 100% in. If I've got the time and I haven't got other commitments, and you come to me with the craziest idea and say, yeah, John, I want to walk across Bolivia backwards in flip flops, would you be up for that? If the person asking me is legit, because most people aren't. If there's someone that I know is 100% like this mad and is willing to commit, I'm 100% in. I'm that person, and very few people are. I message friends all the time or people I've met, and I'm like, "Do you want to do this mad thing? Like, do you want to walk through the Papua New Guinea Highlands from one side to the other? It's going to take like 2.5 months of hardcore hiking." People just don't want to do that, even though they brand themselves, they pretend to be that sort of hippie traveler, and they might have unlimited time, and they might also be mobile orientated, where they are able to sort of fund their travels remotely and commit to these things, but they don't, because most people are cowards. Even though they want to be that person, they tell people they're that person. Very few people are willing to do things like hike up Everest, or do fucking crazy ventures out to the abyss, into war zones or whatever. And it's not through for lack of for like the safety or anything like that. They're just, people are cowards. Like, that's what I've learned. Most people in the world are really just normies. Like, they're just really of very little value. I genuinely mean that. Which is sad, yeah, but that's the environment we live in nowadays. People have just been coddled into this very sort of comfortable existence. Um, anyway, yeah, 23 minutes now. So I'll leave it there, and that's the update. Um, and I'm also, another thing I wanted to say, I'm going to start decommissioning YouTube. I've been saying that for a long time, and I committed to that. I had several channels through like BitChute, Rumble, Brand YouTube, Bastion, all these social media networks, Gab, um, Floats, before they decommissioned it. Um, and then I sort of, it became too difficult to maintain that, so I stayed with YouTube. I'm really going to start cutting YouTube down, because I just don't agree with it. It's just an awful platform. It's Google. It's disgusting. It's a propaganda agency, and the videos do take time. Again, as I've said, I'm not using it for an audience as such, but yeah, it's not that I think it's unhealthy the way I do my videos, at least, which is literally just a phone. There's nothing professional about it. It's just an extra thing for me to do. It's just so time consuming. So I'll probably, like, I post a lot of this shit for people that watch my channel, which is like just like random cats and dogs and just landscapes, which I'm sure a lot of people do like, because they're interesting things. But I sometimes post them at the same time, and a lot of them. But so I'm going to start cutting that down and doing things. It's probably just more video, like vlog things and stuff, and then uploading things that I want to save for the future but unlisted. Uh, anyway, yeah, I'll leave it there. 24 minutes, and probably post something up in a couple of weeks or something.